While the Ukrainian leader was soliciting more military aid from President Biden, an all-female delegation of Ukrainian members of parliament was in Washington for meetings with U.S. lawmakers like this one with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. They're in D.C. asking for more sanctions and weaponry like fighter jets to boost Ukraine's defenses. Their very presence is a reminder of what's at stake. Yesterday, as the Ukrainian delegation asked for that desperately needed aid, an air raid siren alert sounded from one of their cell phones. As it blared, one of the Ukrainian lawmakers said, quote, "I need you all to hear that." One of those Ukrainian lawmakers, the member of parliament, Yevheniya Kravchuck, joins me now from Washington. Ms. Kravchuck, thank you for making time to be here with us. The last I saw you was on Friday in Warsaw, and you were on your way. You've been meeting now with those lawmakers you told us about, including the House Speaker, Nancy Pelosi. What kind of response are you getting?
When I was watching this piece of TV, I just need to give this emotion. And there was an 8-year-old girl drawing a chalk. Well, I remember my daughter, who is 8 years old, and she is in Ukraine right now, waiting for me to come, with some sort of news saying that, America will help us. So that's basically the question that I've been asked from, everyone. So we do send our messages about the weapons, about the sanctions, about the financial support, and we're really thankful for example, we've got the news that from President Biden saying that they're going to be $500 million dollars sent to Ukraine, to Ukrainian budget. So we see we're getting there. But about weapons is still, we'll be satisfied when we'll have them on the ground. It can't be on the table.
Let's talk about the negotiations that are underway, the ones that have just ended in Istanbul. There's a lot of doubt from the people I'm speaking to inside the country that these negotiations are meaningful and that the Russian side on this can be trusted. They said they're pulling back from Kyiv and other places, and that has not turned out to be true. What's your sense of whether these are meaningful negotiations and whether they should continue?
First, we do not believe Putin, because Putin has done, everything before violating his own words. So what we believe in is our army, Ukrainian army, and our soldiers. So we basically think that we need a victory on the battlefield, and then we can drag all together with civilized world, Putin into the table of negotiations. Because we do need to negotiate, for example, the reparations to restore Ukraine. But winning on the battlefield is essential. So that's why we've been asking for this battle jets, for this air defense system, for artillery, for tanks. There's a big list sent to Pentagon. And we actually asked members of Congress, both from House of Representatives and from the Senate, to, sort of control how this list is going and how we're getting those weapons.
One of the things that you said to me in Warsaw that struck me is that you, like every other Ukrainian I've spoken to, has decided this will end and that Ukraine will sustain itself. And then you want the world to start talking about what happens next. You actually said to me it's going to need something that looks like a Marshall Plan to rebuild Ukraine. Are you at the point where you can start to have that conversation with people, or is it too early right now? Because, as you said, Ukraine has to win on the battlefield first.
We do start this conversation, and also in parallel we're having conversations about international tribunal for Putin and for all of these military generals who've been giving the orders to bomb the cities. I mean, that will be a separate track as well. But yes, we will need a new Marshall Plan for Ukraine, and I'm sure that United States will take a leading role in this. But hey, there is so much Russian frozen money around the world from central bank. We should think about the way how to use it to restore Ukraine after the victory. But the first thing, what we need to kick out Russians from our country, because there can't be any negotiations when somebody puts a gun to your head.
Yevheniya Kravchuck, thank you for joining us again. We appreciate that. I understand you are continuing your travels and your efforts to get the world on your side. Yevheniya Kravchuck is a member of the Ukrainian parliament.